Using conditional formatting, highlight all cells. The columns are not equal. We're going to hit F9 here, see what this looks like. You can see, what does this mean? I'll explain it to you. We're going to use the not and the exact and going to come up with some creative methods to satisfy this argument. Brad Williams, XL Prime, Morgan, conditional formatting here. We want to match all not equal. What? Yeah. We're going to look at the exact function and the not function. We've played around with this in the past. Well, let's play around with it a little more. Not exact. In other words, if this was exact, we would say color anything that matched. Here, we want to color everything that doesn't match. Not changes true to false and false to true. So exact is a positive. We have a negative. The negative is going to override the positive. Oh, that's what it says. Exact is true. So what happens if it changed true? Exact is true. So we're going to change it to false. And so it's going to color this thing. Exact, we already know what exact does. We want an exact match. Over here, use a simple formula containing the not operator and mixed references. You can use conditional formatting. We could go in and just type in B7 not equal to C7. So if you don't like functions, here, B7 not equal to C7. Just keep it as simple as you want. Find your own style. If you're a singer, you sing what you know. If you're a writer, you have a certain style. Well, Excel, you're going to find your style. We'll be forced to use some of these formulas, but incorporate whatever, rocks your world. You can also use not equal. I just use, see down here, B7. You can do that, or you can use this. When using a conditional formatting with a formula, the formula is evaluated relative to the active cell. There are mixed references in this. What do I mean? By now, you should know the difference between mixed, absolute, and relative. When we put just a $sign in the expression on one side, what does that mean? That's mixed. If we put double, we have a $sign before and after the B. That is what? And then what if there are no $signs? I'm going to let you answer that on your own. It's going to be in here, but I don't want to give away all the clues. So the not exact, the equal and not equal to operators are not case sensitive. If you need a case sensitive comparison, you can use the exact function. So that's why we're using this not exact. Other than that, it's straightforward. The process, you know the drill. If you're going to input this manually, you just have to find your data, go into conditional formatting, Alt, H, L, and then new. You're going to set up whatever rule you want. There's already a rule in there, so we'll cancel out. We'll just go to conditional formatting, manage rules here, edit rule, not exact, B7, C7. Notice if you screw up in terms of relative and not, if you don't put in this relative, let's get rid of, oops, that we're so used to using the arrows moving around, you're going to run into this all the time. Be very careful when you try to make changes inside this conditional format. Move around only by your mouse. I removed the references, okay, and what happens? You can see what it does. It just matched everything. Why? Because it's referencing just one cell. In other words, it's saying whatever's happening in C7, it's going to be the same throughout your range. So go back to conditional formatting. Well, I'll just grab this. Grab this. That way you don't have to use the arrows. Copy, conditional format, manage rules. And what did I do wrong here? I'm still over here in the wrong cell. Conditional format, manage rules, edit rules. If you can't see the problem here, think about it. We have not exact B7, C7. We're looking at B7 and we're looking at C7. And we'll hit OK. This formula applies to this entire range. If it's copied down, it's going to say the same thing. B7, C7. Cancel. Let's see here. No formatting, manage rules, edit rules. Wherever you go in here, it's going to show up exact B7, C7. If you cancel, edit, put this in correctly, Control V, cancel. I just want to make sure this is in the right arena. Edit, Control V, hit OK. And you can see the difference here. What this is saying is we only want this to apply for each row. We don't want to compare these oppositely. Be sure to check out all of our Excel courses. Excel data and text manipulation. We have an advanced beginners and intermediate course. Excel essentials. This is for individuals new to Excel. We have an advanced, excellent beginners, level 1 and level 2, and intermediate level course. Excel formulas, formulas only. We have a beginner, an advanced, and an intermediate level course. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out. Conditional formatting. Let's go and manage rules. And you can see that because this is B7 and C7, it's not going to, I'll try to explain what happens if you don't put in the mixed reference. Here, you can see there's a mixed reference. We have dollar signs in front. If we don't have the mixed references, this is what we're dealing with. Now from here, you can see the outcome externally. Everything is true, but let's look at conditional formatting. Go in here, conditional formatting, manage rules. Now, here's how it looks. Here we have the list of information. If this is not set, in other words, if this formula here, not exact B7, is not set, it's going to change. The first row, it's going to go B7 to C7. It's going to look at this and it says it's going to apply to this area. Then you go down to the next row and it's going to read B8, C8. Conditional formatting is going to say, well, it applies to this entire thing, and so on and so forth. That's why it throws an error. With a fixed number, it's going to say B7, C7 applies to this entire range, and subsequently, if there's any modifications, it still sticks. So conditional formatting will look at this going, well, we have a new row, and B7, C7 will be B7, C7 in this range, and we have to test not exact B8, C8. Hard to explain. It's one of those internal deals that if you screw up, it won't work. That is my explanation, and I'm probably way off. If you have a better explanation, let me know. Brad Williams, Excel Prime. Thanks a lot.